After completing the Emerald Nuzlocke, I was left feeling empty. I didn't think my heart could go through this kind of experience again, yet when I stumbled upon some of Martin Luther King's words, something in me had changed. In a mountain of despair, a stone of hope. I realized that it's in those stones that true happiness awaits, and I simply need to embark on another one of these journeys to find that happiness once more. And, well, I mean... Shit, man, this video got a lot of fucking views, didn't it? You know the Nuzlocke shindig already. The same rules from the last two Nuzlockes carry over, but there are a few extra twists in this particular run. Absolutely no items at all, except for out of battle. Pokemon encounters are now all random, except for trainer battles, gym battles, and the Elite Four. Simply because I've already done a vanilla Platinum Nuzlocke in my own free time, and I want to spice things up a little bit. I can't catch any legendaries or starter Pokemon just to make the teams a little more diverse, and the dupes clause is on. Because half the comments on that last video were just, why did you have the dupes clause on? Like, I'm sorry that it pained you to see not just one Poochyena, but two! Our journey begins with our neighbor named Oysters, because they are disgusting and I hate them.
You alright?
Comes barging into my room to scream at max capacity like a gorilla. He takes me to Route 201 and encourages us to run through the field inhabited with dangerous Pokemon, until we are interrupted by a homeless man lacking pants, proclaiming himself to be Professor Rowan. He says we shouldn't go through the grass and then backpedals like he lost an argument on Twitter, and then immediately gives us a Pokemon because kids will be kids, I guess? It's weird to reward child endangerment, but alas. My three Pokemon were Mewtwo, Charizard, and Weasel. So, due to the rules, the pick was done for me, but I ain't complaining. Look at his little flotation sack! His name is Tubbs, and we use him to very politely beat the shit out of Oysters, and pet Turtwig, because he's a precious baby boy. What's really great about early game Weasel is that it's packing Sonic Boom, which always deals 20 damage, and for early game Pokemon, this is a sweeper. We run through Route 201 and encounter some casual Pokemon, you know, like Lugia, which we kill quite easily. We make it to Sagem Town and buy our first couple Pokeballs, and now our Nuzlocke has officially begun. Back on Route 201, we encounter our first Pokemon, a Machamp, which we accidentally kill. We then go to Lake Verity, where we encounter a cute little Seedot, which we accidentally kill. Then on Route 201, we run into a Blissey, which is a tanky Pokemon, and therefore not easy to accidentally kill. We capture her and name her Egg Mama. After a lot of trainer battles to make it to Jubilife City, we immediately head to Route 218 after obtaining an Old Rod and fish up an Abra, which teleports away, which is fair considering how that went last time. On our way to Orobog City, we encounter Switch the Electrike. Heading towards the town of Orobog City, we run into Oysters again. He challenges us to a battle. Switch handles the Starly, and we respectfully pet Turtwig. Inside the Orobog gate, we have an excellent encounter with a Taillow, and after a good sniff, we name him Big Bird. We make it to Orobog City, but the gym leader isn't there, so we venture into the mines to find him, and have another brilliant encounter. Oh snap, it's Madagascar! We give him out in the name Bullhog because we had 12 balls at the start of this fight and ended up with, 1. We locate the gym leader and Tubbs absolutely sweeps his entire team. The first gym badge is ours. We head to Route 206 for our next encounter and run into a Mess Spirit. Free EVs for Tubbs, I guess. After killing it, Mess Spirit poops out a Metapod, which we name Purify. With the first badge, we can head back to Route 204 to smash some rocks because that's fun. We encounter some Team Galactic Grunts and together with Dawn, we wipe the floor. Inside the Ravaged Path, we encounter a Skuntank named Cannonball. Arrgh! Great encounter, especially considering its tankiness. Whilst on the other hand, at the Valley Windworks, we encounter a Pachirisu, which is alright, I guess. I name her Princess and switch out Switch, simply because I wanted to write that line in the script. Switch out Switch. That's so silly. Inside the Valley Windworks Center, we beat up some goons who are holding this child's dad hostage because, who cares? We end up meeting with one of the Team Galactic Street Commanders, Commander Mars. This fight is infamous for being an early Nuzlocke killer if you're not prepared for it, and thankfully, we weren't. Tubbs takes care of the Zubat without trouble, but the Perugly bears problems. Tubbs is almost killed, only putting out a little bit of damage to Perugly with a water gun. I switch on to Bullhog, who tanks the Feint Attack. She uses Yawn to put Perugly to sleep on the next turn. Bullhog is put in the yellow by another Feint Attack and then switched out with Blissey to draw out the Yawn from earlier. Perugly falls asleep and Egg Mama spams 2 growls to wear its attack down. However, this thing is bulky as hell. It wakes up and crits, ignoring the 2 growls from earlier, putting Blissey straight into the red. I switch out with Cannonball as he has a fair amount of HP and Perugly scratches, putting Cannonball in the low green. I decide to use Screech because Cannonball doesn't have any damage dealing moves, but he's then killed by a critical hit Scratch. Not my best play, but thanks to his sacrifice I get a clean switch onto Big Bird. 1 peck and a quick attack later and she falls. Our first death. I'm sorry, Cannonball. You were the treasure all along. Purify then steps up, evolving into Butterfree. We head to Route 205 and encounter this thing. pretty sure it's not that important. We enter Eterna Forest and are tasked with guiding this gorgeous baby mama Cheryl out of it. What's good about this is she has a level 20 Chansey, which will actively support us in double battles and encounters, making this a good spot to grind. The only downside, however, is, well, this. I'm just getting... What? Chansey! Why? After escorting her out of the forest, we end up on Route 205 and encounter a Larion. After what felt like an eternity, we finally catch her and name her Lulu, a brilliant Pokemon late game. We make it to Eterna City and are greeted by the greatest gift to Pokemon fans, Cynthia. God, what unorthodox things I'd be willing to do just to have her spit directly on my face. So, we enter Gardenia's gym in Petterturtwig. After beating the piss out of Entei and stealing his car keys, Big Bird evolves, living up to his name. After grinding a bit, we return to Eterna City to take out the Galactic goons still residing there. At the top of the tower lies Commander Jupiter, who challenges us to a battle. Lulu deals with the Zubat, but the Skunk Tank poses trouble. Lulu stalls out the Skunk Tank's berry, but is low on health. I switch on to Egg Mama, who is immediately screeched, but I think nothing of it. I mean, look at that HP! There is no way a level 23 Skunk Tank could... Yeah, no, she died to a Night Slash. I just lost an S tier Pokemon. Epic. I love that for us. Tubbs finishes the fight, but at the cost of our first encounter. I'm sorry, Blissey. You are like a mother to me. An egg, Mum! Speaking of eggs, Cynthia gives us one. God, this video is writing itself for once. On Route 211, we have an excellent encounter with a cacturn named Flip, and soon after, an even better encounter on Route 206, we find Minty the Altaria. How's it feel, Winona? Now I have the dancing dragon. On Road 208, Tubbs evolves into Floatzel and sniffs the nose pass and Throat in Floatzel's new flotation sack happily joins us. I probably will never use her, but hey, her support is appreciated nonetheless. Harhome City's gym leader, Fantina, is a complete breeze, with Floatzel learning Crunch. I gotta say though, looking at Fantina once more, she can get it. I'll see you at the pub at the end of the video. Route 209 awaits us with a Grimer encounter. Not a great Pokemon, but great death fodder. I name him Mudcake. We also encounter another Entei, but like, I've seen so many at this point that it lacks any kind of excitement. Charging through Solation Town, we encounter a Magma on Route 210. This is a pretty great encounter, seeing as we're lacking the fire typing on this team. I name him Flambo. Yo, this team actually looks pretty slick. Hopefully we don't lose any of them to, I don't know, unfortunate circumstances. On Route 205, we encounter a Hoo-Hoo. Get in the box, Pop-Tart 3.
Oh shit, that's an old Nuzlocke reference.
We take on fighting type gym leader Maylene in Veilstone City. Meditite is taken out by Purify thanks to a sleep powder and some cool wind shit. Machoke comes out and another sleep powder takes place. I knew for a fact this guy was packing a Rock Tomb, which would instantly kill Butterfree. However, the next turn he immediately wakes up and Purified is killed. Alright, sleep powder. That's good. Easy. Disgust me.
What? Hey, oh wait, that was turn 1? What? Nah, come on, man. That's bullshit.
Big Bird takes the stage and wing attacks the Machoke, killing it instantly. And then comes Lucario. Big Bird lands the first wing attack, putting him in the low green, but is then hit by a Force Palm, paralyzing him and half-healthing instantly. Minty takes a Metal Claw and a Drain Punch and responds to Sing, which puts Lucario to sleep. Tubbs is switched in and he hits with a Narco Jet. The next turn, Lucario wakes up and Force Palms Tubbs, putting him in the low yellow. But thankfully on the last turn, the Aqua Jet takes priority and the fight is ours. That was a close call. Thank you, Purified. Despite the circumstances of your birth, you were the purest of them all.
The joke is because she was pooped out of Mess Spirit before.
We are informed by Dawn and Detective Looker that Team Galactic are up to more goofs and gaffs in Pastoria City. We head towards there and encounter a trainer called Private Investigator Carlos, who throws out his Goldeen. I use this opportunity to level up a Voodoo I caught inside of Mount Coronet. That is until...
Wait, it has Horn Drill?
Horn Drill, in case you didn't know, is just like Sheer Cold in that it kills your Pokemon instantly if it lands, but it only has a 30% chance to hit. So, rest in peace, LaRose. But hey, I just got unlucky. It can't happen again, right? Oh, come on! So, Princess took the stage, but her spark clearly wasn't enough to kill. It paralyzed the Goldeen, I guess, but even then, it still managed to land another Horn Drill, completely killing her as well. Speaking of pain, our encounter on Valor Lakefront is a Primeape, who we are unable to capture on the account that we almost got our ass absolutely clapped. Ah! However, on Road 213, we encounter a slacking. Haha! How's it feel now, Papa Man? Now I've got the hard-hitting but also worst ability in the game, Monkey. I name him Booger Boy, and he's my son. In Pastoria City, we take on Gym Leader Crash Awake and his aquatic team. I'm a little nervous as my only answer for his team is Switch and Flip, who are a little underleveled because my main options were, you know, killed by a fish. Switch switches in, and immediately sparks, but it doesn't kill due to the Intimidate ability on Gyarados. He follows up with a waterfall, putting Switch into yellow. He sparks again, killing the Gyarados, and then comes Quagsire. I switch on to Flip, who tanks a Mud Shot. I activate a Leech Seed and tank the Rock Tomb to heal up straight away. Flip is Yawn, but follows up with an Absorb, and then the Leech Seed activates, giving us full ownership of this fight. And Wake uses his Hyper Potion here, rather than on the big boss Pokemon soon to come. Flip falls asleep, but due to the Leech Seed and Quagsire's limited moveset, he tanks all the damage and wakes up moments later to finish off the Quagsire. Finally comes out the Floatzel. I use another Leech Seed, but it sadly misses, and then Flip is almost one-shot by an Ice Fang in return. Knowing Floatzel will Aqua Jet to get the kill, I switch on to Booger Boy, who happily tanks it. He's then hit with a Brine and follows up with a Yawn. To enable a clean switch, I have Booger Boy tank another hit and loaf around so Floatzel falls asleep. I then switch on to Tubbs, assuming that Floatzel would wake up, but he still sleeps. One swift later and the fight is ours. Good plays all around. A bomb goes off because of reasons, and we track down the cheeky little chicken nugget who set it off. After confronting this literal terrorist, Queen Cynthia, God please show feet, gives us some drugs to ward off a pack of Psyducks blocking Route 10. We give them the Jazz Cabbage and the gang of Psyducks depart. We venture upwards on Route 210 and encounter a freaking Garchomp. After having the absolute crap kicked out of us, we manage to capture this bad boy and name him Chumps. Welcome to the team, Chumps. We venture to Celestic Town where we encounter Team Galactic boss Cyrus. He talks about blowing up the world because his Twitch mod status got revoked or something. I don't know, I wasn't paying attention. Tired of his Jehovah's Witness spiels, Tubbs sends him flying. We surf to Canalave City and pet Oyster's Grotto. Before taking on the gym, we set sail to Iron Island and activate a Repel, ensuring that our only encounter is the Riolu we are given from Riley. This cutie's name is Kibbles. We train for a bit and confront the gym leader Byron. Byron throws out Magneton and I accidentally throw out Lulu. This is a huge problem straight away. You see, I forgot to switch the first Pokemon on my team, and of all the Pokemon it could have been, Lulu is the worst pick. Magneton's carrying Magnet Pull, which forces Steel-type Pokemon to stay in battle, meaning that Lulu was soft-locked. Her moves can do any damage at all, so Magneton's able to get 2 Thunderbolts, completely killing her. I'm sorry, Lulu, I was, meant to throw Ballhog out first. Ballhog tanks the Flash Cannon and follows up with a Yawn. I switch Ballhog out with Flip, who tanks the Flash Cannon. Flip uses Drain Punch on the now asleep Magneton, almost killing it. Dive Potion is used, and Flip says no you with extra fries, and Drain Punches again, obliterating the Magnet Boy. Out comes Steelix. Flip uses Leech Seed to set up, and Steelix is dumb, so he misses his attack. I switch on a Flambeau, predicting the Ice Fang, and leave the Steelix with a burn due to the Flame Body ability. Flambeau goes for the Fire Blast, but misses, and then is hit with an Earthquake, which thankfully doesn't kill him thanks to the burn status infliction. Now most people in the situation would go for another Fire Blast, right? But I'm not like most people, as I ran out of Fire Blasts before this fight began, because I didn't have any Ethers, so I wasn't very organized with this gym, now was I? Flip comes back out and he takes the Earthquake. He goes in for a Drain Punch to finish the Steelix, but a full Restore heals the Steelix up, and it no longer has Burn. Knowing the Ice Fang is coming again, I switch onto Flambeau once more, hoping for a Flame Body, and tickle my nutsack, it activates again. I then switch onto Flip to tank the second Earthquake and still out the Burn. Flip lands the Absorb, and Steelix finally falls. Out comes Byron's Bastodon, who is immediately Leech Seeded. Flip is almost one-shot by Bastodon's Stone Edge, so I switch on to Booger Boy. He yawns, putting Bastodon to sleep, and he takes a Stone Edge. He finishes him off with a Fade Attack alongside the Leech Seed chip damage. That was Fight the Long Fighter. How you holding up, Editor? Oh god, you're doing great, man. Hang in there, you're doing great. We visit the town library and another bomb goes off because books are bad. And then we are asked by Professor Rowan to visit the 3 lakes to deal with the galactic goons setting off bombs. And that's my breaking point.
We are 10 years old, fighting literal terrorists. Can't you adults do something for once? Also, my brother in Christ, Rowan, please put some goddamn pants on!
We arrive at Lake Valley to take out some goons. It's here that we face Commander Saturn. Well, face is a polite way of saying completely murdered. We arrive at Lake Variety and take on Commander Mars. Her Golbat bowls to Booger Boy's sheer epicness. Tubbs deals with Bronzor and then Braggly comes back to play. Bowhog comes out to yawn but is outsped and hypnotized instead. I need to get a yawn on Braggly to put us ahead, so Bowhog, like a champion, needs to stall out the fierce wrath of the Braggly. Tanking 2 slashes, including 1 crit that left her on 1 HP, she kept sleeping. But that's fine, because I had a plan. Her damage output is insane, and my Pokemon can only take 2 of those hits at max health. But Kibbles could kill with 1 Force Palm, providing we could get her in yellow. I need a clean switch, which is why I brought some Death Fodder with me. I'm sorry I had to come to this, Mudcake, but thank you for giving yourself up for the cause. Well, it's more like thanks for not resisting as I sacrifice you to the cause. With that clean switch, Kibbles gets 2 Force Palms in and the fight is ours. We head to the snowy Alps of Route 216 and encounter a Growlithe? Yep, that checks out. His name's Clifford. With Flambeau's help, we cleared the trainers of the Alps, and we also caught a female Kingler, which we named Queengler. That's not funny. We encounter Oysters at Lake Acuity, who's like, fuck you, I climbed the rocks. I swear to God, one of these days I'm totally gonna pet his Torterra real good. We enter the Snowfront gym and I can't help but feel nervous. Candice is known for sweeping teams because of her combo with a Bossno and Frostlass. A Bossno would summon the hail and then Frostlass's Snowcloak ability would activate, meaning all my attacks have a much lower chance of hitting. The battle begins and Sneasel immediately feint attacks Flambeau. Flambeau responds to the flamethrower killing the Sneasel. Pillow Swine appears and Flambeau goes for another flamethrower and it kills thanks to a critical hit. A Bossno's hail begins and to answer, Flambeau goes for the flamethrower and it kills in 1 hit. But alas, the hail is out and so is the Frostlass. Her ability is going to make her damn near impossible, and this thing is quite possibly as fast as Keemstar.
I'm fast as fuck, boy!
Knowing she would Shadow Ball instead of Avalanche, I used the opportunity to switch on to Bowhog, who happily summons the Sandstorm in return, cancelling out the hail, and therefore ruining Frostlass's Snowcloak. Bowhog is barely alive though due to a critical hit Shadow Ball. I switch on to Tubbs, who takes a Shadow Ball. He follows up with a Crunch, putting Frostlass in the red, and takes another Shadow Ball, putting him in the critical red. With the Sandstorm up, he barely lives. This next turn I switch from Tubbs onto Chomps, who dodges a Psychic. Chomps goes in for the Iron Tail, but Frostlass heals up with a full restore. The Iron Tail still connects, which then puts her back in the red. Now the reason why I threw out Chomps out against this Ice Demon is because his ability is Sand Veil, which is basically what Frostlass has, except in Chomps' case, it's because of a Sandstorm. She goes for the Blizzard, which misses, and Chomps finishes off the Frostlass. Risky play, but I'm glad it worked out. We fly to Veilstone City and take out some more collected goons who've stolen legendary Pokemon of the lakes. They have a meeting about how Pokemon Arceus was the only Pokemon game semi-worth its price in the last couple of years, and then everyone disappears because they'd rather play the new Kirby game.
I mean, god damn, look at him go! Waddle Dee Village C!
We meet up with Cyrus and after enduring his Flat Earth conspiracies, challenge him to a battle. Flambeau kills the Sneasel without trouble, but the Crobat surprisingly came with Bite. This thing supersonic Tubbs, and by the time Tubbs broke through to use Blizzard, it had missed. I switched onto Switch, who takes a Poison Fang. He then followed up with a Thunder Fang, putting Crobat in the red. Crobat then heals, and Switch uses Thunder Fang, putting him back in the low green. Switch gets Poison Fanged and then the Poison on top of it. He uses another Thunder Fang, putting Crobat in the red. The Poison kicks in, and Switch lives on a mere 6 HP, however. The next turn will result in his death, so I instead switch onto Kibbles, who tanked the Poison Fang, and finishes off the Crobat with a Shadow Claw. Finally, the boss Pokemon arrives, and it's the scary Honchkrow. Knowing the Drill Peck was coming, I switched onto Big Bird, who tanks it, but is immediately put into the red. I assumed the flying typing would help resist it, but alas, I was wrong. I switched onto Flambeau, expecting another Drill Peck and hoping the Flame Body would activate, and what do you know? It doesn't. This is a really bad position to be in. More than half my team have less than half health, except Bowhog and Kibbles. Something needed to be sacked here, but even then, that wouldn't make this fight a breeze either. The only viable option that came to mind was to have Flambeau die here and try my luck again with the Flame Body ability. Flambeau falls, but his flame lingers as the burn takes hold of Honchkrow. Honchkrow now dealing half damage and losing just the right amount of health is exactly what we need in this fight right now. With Flambeau's light guiding the way, Tubbs releases a Blizzard, ending the fight with Cyrus. Before heading up Mount Coronet to battle Team Galactic one last time, we head to the Silesian ruins to obtain a Firestone and evolve Clifford into an Arcanine in order to replace Flambeau. One Charizard, Deoxys, and a few Mr. Mimes later, and we arrive at the Spear Pillar. Together with Oysters, we take on Jupiter and Mars without problem. I also utilize this moment to pet Torterra. Cyrus's red dog collar activates and Dialga and Palkia arrive. But at this point I've seen enough legendaries to really care. Then the cool worm dragon sucks up Cyrus and a portal opens to Disneyland. After some team changes, we enter the portal to confront the Demon of the Depths. and take on Cyrus one last time. Thankfully, I get some alone time with Cynthia, so my efforts already feel rewarded. After traversing some waterfalls, pushing some rocks into holes, we meet up with Cynthia and Cyrus. Cyrus is still spitting some nonsensical NFT garbage, while Cynthia, like the goddess she is, thinks he's dumb. But my Discord moderator Rage Boner kicks in and enrages in intense jealousy. I can't fathom my little kitten talking to another male who isn't me! Anyway, we are challenged by Cyrus one last time, and this fight is rough. The fight begins with Houndoom against Tubbs. Tubbs clears the Houndoom with a surf, but takes a pretty significant amount of damage because of its Dark Pulse stab damage. Gyarados makes an appearance, so I switch onto Booger Boy, expecting the Earthquake. Booger Boy uses Yawn and tanks 2 Waterfalls, putting the big fish to sleep. Switch switches in, and uses Thunder Fang, killing it. Out comes Weavile, so I switch onto Clifford. Clifford tanks a Fake Out and a Night Slash, and in return defeats Weavile. Out comes the Reaper himself. Switch comes in and uses Thunder Fang, putting Honchkrow on the half health region, but is then sadly killed when Honchkrow follows up with a high roll Psychic. But thanks to the damage dealt, I get a clean switch onto Tubbs to finish off the Honchkrow with a Blizzard. Thank you, Switch. You were great. Out comes his final Pokemon, Crobat. Tubbs uses Blizzard, but it doesn't kill Crobat, and is then put in the red when hit with an Air Slash. I use Blizzard once more, but it misses, and Crobat fully heals. I switch on to Kibbles, who tanks an Air Slash, and gets Crobat into the low green. Once again, we're in a rough spot. Fact of the matter is, everyone is on low health, and is outsped by this demon. I make the choice to switch on to Big Bird, who I believe to be the only thing that's faster than Crobat, giving me the extra turn. He is half health upon entry, and sadly, it turns out the Crobat is just a little faster than me, and lands another Air Slash. But thankfully, it's a low roll, so it doesn't kill. But the problem is, Big Bird is locked into a fly, meaning if he doesn't kill when he lands, he will die. He swoops in and dives into the Crobat, but it's not enough. I use a quick attack hoping to kill it, but sadly it's a low roll. He is left with an insanely minuscule amount of health, and Big Bird is killed. Tubbs takes up the mantle with an Aqua Jet, ending the fight with Cyrus. 2 great Pokemon who put in so much work, sadly met their ends here in old places. I fucking hate Disneyland. Cyrus decides to not blow up the world, so that's progress, I guess. And we're given the playing field to confront Giratina. We throw a Master Ball, ending the fight immediately. Pause! Now, listen. I know I technically broke the... No, I definitely broke the No Legendary clause. I was just frustrated. I wasn't thinking straight. You can tell by what I named the Giratina. Not gonna use it. Just to let you guys know. Also, if we do the calculations, I have Tubbs with Blizzard and Crunch, as well as Lucario with a Shadow Claw. We could have pretty easily killed this thing. That's true. Anyway, back to reality.
Fuck you, Cyrus!
Outside of Disneyland, I beeline the Safari Zone because I needed a distraction. And whenever I get down the dumps, I like to throw mud at Palkia. Everyone deals with pain in their own way, and this is how I deal with mine. We arrive in Sunny Shore City to take on the final gym leader, Volcano. It's funny because this guy's backstory is, he's bored of all easy fights, and, well, I mean, the fight was so one-sided I don't even want to show the vision. The final gym badge is ours, which means it's time to set sail and take on the Elite Four. On our way there, we fish up a Darkrai, but I wasn't sure if it counted as a legendary or not, but judging from this music, I'll just skip that encounter. We arrive at Victory Road and accidentally killed the Weavile we encountered, so... Yep, at the end of the tunnel, we finally arrive at the Pokemon League. As per usual, the nerves kick in. The Plummet Elite Four, without question, is one of the hardest Elite Fours to Nuzlocke. My team looks decent, and thanks to some Victory Road grinding accompanied by some Animal Crossing music, we are the right level to take on the Final Four trials. And see my girlfriend again. I looked at my team one last time. This is it, fellas. Let's bring home the 3rd trophy. The first Elite Four is Aaron, the Insect Prince. This fight was a breeze, honestly. Clifford dealt with all of his Pokemon except the Drapion, who fell to Bullhog's Earthquake. First Elite Four down. Man, that was a cinch! Oh man, I sure do hope the rest of the Elite Four fights are as simple, and therefore super easy to animate. The second Elite Four is Bertha, the Earth Titaness. The battle begins with Wishcash against Tubbs. Tubbs honestly struggles in this fight, as Wishcash is a lot tankier than anticipated. After exchanging a few blows, Tubbs is in the critical yellow, and Bertha has used up her full restore. To answer, I switch on to Booger Boy. Booger Boy lands a Yawn, and is then critical hit by Earth Power turn 1, putting him in the low green. But a leftovers we stole from the Snorlax we found in earlier kicks in. I switch from Booger Boy onto Bullhog, who tanks an Earth Power. Wishcash then falls asleep. Bullhog sets up a Stealth Rock and also kills Wishcash with an Earthquake a turn after. Gliscor then enters the battle. Gliscor lands an Earthquake and puts Bulhog in the yellow, and Bulhog follows up with an Ice Fang that kills Gliscor immediately. Rhyperior finally emerges. This is a bit of a problem. Tubbs can't take another hit, but I do have an idea in mind. Seeing as Bulhog is on low health, Bertha was likely going to Ice Punch Bulhog to kill it. The computer will naturally attack to kill if it sees the opportunity. Luckily, Clifford is resistant to ice moves and could kill Rhyperior using the reversal move he had since he was a Growlithe. And because Ice Fang would likely half health me, reversal would deal even more damage because the lesser health you have, the more damage this move will do. And not to mention, it's a fighting type move, which is super effective. I switch, but for some reason Rhyperior, instead of trying to finish Bulhog off with the Ice Punch, risks using Earthquake, which killed Clifford the moment he was switched in. I'm still confused as to why the computer risks not killing Bulhog there and there with the super effective move against it, but either way, I took a gamble, and that's where it got me. Tubbs, fueled with rage, dodges Rhyperior's attack, and wipes the remaining Pokemon out with devastating surfs. I'm sorry, Clifford, I misplayed that so hard. I promise, we'll take this trophy home. The third Elite Four is Flint, the Unrelenting Flame. I let Tubbs go all out in this fight and he single-handedly wipes away most of the competition. There was a scary moment where Magmar survived a surf and used Thunderbolt getting Tubbs to 5 HP, but that wasn't enough to stop this absolute kraken of a Pokemon. Flint goes down and we're on our way to the second final hurdle. The fourth of the Elite Four is Lucian, the Knight of Foresight. Mr. Mime and Alakazam make an appearance, and then quickly a disappearance as Tubbs wipes them both out with a crunch. Gallade enters the battle, so I switch on to Minty, predicting the Leaf Blade. She follows up with a Sing, putting Gallade to sleep. During this time, I channel my inner Winona and use Dragon Dance twice, buffing her attack and defense for 2 levels. Gallade awakens using Stone Edge, but Minty dodges it. She then uses Fly and one-hits the Gallade. Espeon appears and Minty is hit with a Psychic. Minty soars into the sky and kills Espeon in one hit. Finally, his boss Pokemon comes out, Bronzong. My one answer to this was sadly taken away earlier, so the new plan was to try and chip this thing down using all the Pokemon I have left. I switch on to Tubbs, and during that time, Bronzong uses Calm Mind, boosting its special attack and defense. We need to stop this thing right here and right now. If this thing keeps Calm Minding, we'll be in serious strife. Tubbs lunges at the Bronzong and uses Crunch, hoping to land a flinch, but he is crit one-shot by Bronzong's stab psychic damage, 190 plus damage in one attack, just enough to kill Tubbs. My partner since the very beginning, in one singular move, was taken away. But right now isn't the time for lamenting. We can't afford to stop now. Booger Boy comes out and uses Yawn and takes significant damage from Bronzong's 2 Psychics. Bronzong falls asleep, and Chomps takes a stand as team leader. Chomps, channeling all of Tubbs' fury, attacks with 2 Dragon Claws, ending the fight. Tubbs, Clifford, thank you both for your hard work. We dedicate this final battle to you. In fact, to all of you. Let's do this. We walk through the doors, and our goal is crystal clear. Defeat Cynthia. The battle begins as Cynthia throws out a Spiritomb. To answer, Minty takes up the pole. Minty outspeeds, landing a Sing which puts Spiritomb to sleep. Altaria Dragon Dances, boosting its attack and defense. Spiritomb continues to sleep, and Altaria Dragon Dances again. Spiritomb, fun fact, still continues to sleep, and Minty gets a 3rd Dragon Dance in. Spiritomb finally awakens and uses Dark Pulse, which half-heals Altaria as its special attack move, so the defense buff doesn't matter. But that's not what Minty's here for. She pierces the skies and kills Spiritomb in one hit. Cynthia's Ace in the Hole comes out immediately. Most people will be afraid at a sheer glance, but I'm not like most people. In fact, I've got a pretty scary bird at the moment. Altaria puts him to sleep using Sing and follows up with a high roll Dragon Pulse, putting Garchomp in the low yellow. The plan was to have Cynthia use her heals now and kill Garchomp with Stab Altaria and then sleep. But unfortunately, Garchomp was carrying a berry, which wastes our turn. I use Dragon Pulse again, but it doesn't kill, which allows the first full restore to take place. With one potion out, I figured, you know what, shouldn't get too risky here and kill Garchomp now. Fearing that the Sing would miss, I use Fly, hoping to kill Garchomp on the next turn. But Cynthia Galaxy Brain bungles my plan by switching out onto Lucario, who happens to dodge the Fly. Lucario uses Extreme Speed, which puts Altaria in the critical red. She then kills him with Fly the next turn on a solid 5 HP. Garchomp comes out, good for him, and uses a full restore, receiving Altaria's Dragon Pulse, putting him back in the yellow. I then misclick and Altaria accidentally uses Dragon Pulse again, and because it's a low roll, it doesn't kill. and Garchomp uses a Dragon Rush to kill Altaria. My misplay unfortunately cost us Minty, which is a massive setback, but we aren't quitting now. Bullhog makes her appearance but is outsped by Garchomp, as all my Pokemon now are slower than him. She is hit with the Dragon Rush that puts her in the yellow, and then defeats Garchomp with an Ice Bite, whilst also provoking a Sandstorm. This was an incredibly lucky play because that Sand Veil ability could have turned on me there and then. Melodic joins the fight, and thankfully this one is less freaky looking, still a bit strange though. I switch on to Booger Boy to predict the Ice Beam. Booger Boy uses a Thunderbolt putting Melodic in the yellow, but then is hit by a Surf which brings his health into the low yellow. Because of Slacking's Truant ability, he can't attack this turn, so I switch from him onto Garchomp, who gets hit by a Surf and returns the favour with a Dragon Claw, killing the Melodic. Togekiss appears, and this wretched thing is horrifying. Chomp's Dragon Claws are putting her in the low green. Togekiss then follows up with an Air Slash, putting him in the yellow. I know for a fact that Chomps will be able to kill Togekiss given 2 more turns, but I can't risk being crit, and above all else, Roseau being the last Pokemon is faster than both Booger Boy and Bullhog, both of which don't have the moveset to take her on. I need Chomps in the fight as he's the only one faster than her who can deal damage. I switch him with Booger Boy, who tanks the Air Slash that puts him in the low red, and then the Sandstorm pushes him into the critical red. Here was my thought process. Before the fight, I switched items around and gave Booger Boy a Quick Claw instead and my leftovers to Altaria. I planned to use Slacking against the Melodic and have him constantly Thunderbolt her, but things went differently than anticipated. I switched him in hoping to get the Quick Claw activation to land one hit into this thing, to enable a kill using Hippowdon. And what do you know? The gamble worked. As his Quick Claw kicks in, he lands one final Thunderbolt, putting Togekiss in the red. He is then killed by an Air Slash. With that, I throw out Bullhog, who resets the Sandstorm and goes in for the Ice Fang, only to be denied by a full restore. I hadn't kept track of Cynthia's healing. I was so on top of it before, but it seems I lost track along the way, which inevitably was the misplay of the century, and sadly cost me Bullhog, as Togekiss lands a high roll wing attack with stab damage, totally killing her. Chomps stands as the final Pokemon left. Chomps uses a Dragon Claw, putting Togekiss in the critical red, but is then hit with a critical hit wing attack, ultimately killing hit.
Oh my god!
On a mere 2 HP, he lives, and the Sandstorm finishes off the Togekiss. It all comes down to this. Rose Red makes her grand appearance. I know for a fact I outspeed here, but none of my moves are super effective. In fact, this is a lost cause. Chomps goes in for the dig, dodging Rose Red's Sludge Bomb, and from the earth lands a dig, only putting her in the yellow. And then, Rose Red uses Extra Sensory. But Chomps, concealed in the Sandstorm left by Bullhog, uses his Sand Veil ability and dodges his Extra Sensory, allowing us one final turn. In a stroke of luck, Chomps goes in for the Dragon Claw and the battle is ours. I'm not gonna lie, after 9 attempts with an ending as lucky as this, I didn't feel excited. I didn't feel like a winner. Instead, I felt like fucking puking. That final fight was nothing but gambling and luck. From the Sing and Dragon Dancing, the Quick Claw activating, the Sand Veil working with, and not against me, the odds were never in our favor, but from the sheer optimism from all our fallen comrades, we turned those odds into opportunity. The randomized Pokemon Platinum Nuzlocke was finally beat. I couldn't have done it without the amazing support of all our team members who got us here. What an insanely high mountain to have climbed. One full of victories, losses, memories, despair, but when climbing that mountain, there truly was hope.
Hey, wait a sec, that sounds like that quote at the start of the video!